China and the United States have reached important consensus during a high-level economic and trade meeting in Switzerland over the weekend. Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng says substantial progress was made during the two-day talks with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. He also says the two sides will issue a joint statement on Monday. Cam Brown reports from Geneva.
Well, after 2 days of high-level economic and trade talks, the Chinese delegation held a press conference right here behind us at the China Mission to the World Trade Building. We heard Chinese lead and Vice Premier He Lifeng state that both sides engaged in thorough discussions on economic and trade issues of mutual concern. The talks were described as candid, thorough and constructive, with substantial progress made and specific consensus reached. Here's a little bit more of what he said.
The two sides agreed on establishing a consultation mechanism for trade and economic issues, identify the lead persons on each side, and will carry on further consultations related to trade and economic issues of their respective concerns. The two sides will finalize relevant details as soon as possible and will issue a joint statement that was reached at the meeting on the 12th of May.
We also heard U.S. lead Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He talked up the positive nature of these talks too. Both thanked their Swiss hosts here in Geneva for providing the platform for these exchanges. Here's a bit more from what the U.S. Treasury Secretary said.
I can tell you that the talks were productive. We had the Vice Premier, two Vice Ministers who were integrally involved, Ambassador Jameson and myself, and I spoke to President Trump, as did Ambassador Jameson last night, and he is fully informed of what is going on.
This was, as the Secretary pointed out, a very constructive 2 days. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to come to agreement, which reflects that perhaps the differences were not so large as maybe thought.
So both sides characterizing these as positive talks while being short on detail, and those details should come on May 12th when both sides are going to release a joint statement. Ken Brown, CGTN, Geneva.